Hey everyone, it's your girl NueNew the Hair Diva, and I'm back with you with the reason why I tag my makeup. Now, that's not actually the title, but that's how I'm going to start this video off. So whatever you see below, that's what we're going to call this video. I just wanted to come in this evening before I decided to take all my makeup and hair off and get myself together for bed tonight, and just talk with you really quick on how long makeup is supposed to really last. I know many of you already know this, but a lot of people don't really know how long you should have makeup within your possession before you need to throw it away, and why it's a good idea to, mark your makeup. So let's get started with me saying that I do have a lot of makeup. I have given away a lot of makeup. I think I'm down to just what I really want to use. And that's why you see pretty much the same products every single time I do a makeup look. However, I want to be able to be as organized as possible and go through my makeup, use every single thing that I have kept, but also know when it's time to throw it away, whether I'm finished with it or not. So the first things I like to do is get these little colored stickers. And I've noticed that many people that have seen them on my products can't find them. So you really just need to go to like Staples or Office Max, and you can get like a package of 50, 100, 200, so on and so forth, and you can get solid colors, multicolored, whatever you feel as though will work for you. On these little dots here, I usually put the month and the year. I don't really worry about the date, because I try to use it, for the full month. By putting the month and the date on here, that you actually opened your product and started to use it, it will help you when you are doing your project pans, your 6x6, so on and so forth. Especially if you are putting that makeup back to work on something different. It will let you know when you actually opened it, and if it's a part of a project system that you are doing. So I do recommend these type of labels. I also recommend that not only do you put the month and the date or the type of project that you are using them for, but if you have more than one, marking the very first one that you're using lets you know what product to reach for. Because in our makeup collection, we often put a lot of things back to try to use other items, and when you do that, you can easily forget. So when you start to mark them or color code them, whatever is easiest for you to do, it will help you reach for that item much quicker. Okay, so I am a licensed cosmetologist. I went through my Milady book, and that is the book that we are taught on when we go to cosmetology school, to refresh myself with decontamination and sanitation. If you are practicing those habits to keep all of your makeup from being contaminated with oils or any type of germs, anything that you do to help with that process is a good thing. As far as sanitation, if you always keep your hands clean, washing them, hand sanitizer, if you keep your makeup area clean, with some Lysol wipes and things like that, that will also help you prolong your makeup because you're keeping yourself clean as well. So quickly, I went online and I did other research in my Milady book, And just knowing, you know, through common sense as well, I printed out a paper. I know you can't see it, but it's just to let y'all know that I'm serious, and I did do some research on this, on how long you really can keep your makeup. So the shelf life of your concealer, they say it's about 12 months. But the thing is, when we open our concealer and we get them in tubes instead of jars, if you get concealers in stick forms like this, instead of jars like this, you can actually hold this a lot longer than 12 months. Always mark the bottom of it. And as always, if it dries out, if it gives you a bad smell, if it's just not doing what it is supposed to do, throw it away. Do not look at it necessarily as money lost, because when you bought the item, you used it, and as you move through your collection, you just wasn't able to come back to it. That will also let you know if it's an item that you really need to invest in again. As far as your powders, things like this that are your blushes or powder foundations, you can really keep those up to 2 years, sometimes 3, depending on how clean you keep it. Now with your powders, you really have to be clean with your brushes, because everyone's face has some type of oil, some type of bacteria. You have good and bad. When you take your brushes and you touch them to your face and you touch them to your product, you are cross-contaminating. So always keep your brushes clean as possible. When you are finished using your powders, sometimes it's just good to take a clean tissue and just wipe across the top once or twice. You're really not wasting product doing that. You are keeping your product for the length of time that you would like to be able to. When it comes to creams and gels, I have a cream blush here that I want to show you. Now, we like to apply our cream blushes with our fingers and sometimes with stippling brushes. As always, like I said, keep your brushes clean as possible. If you have to, spot clean them, especially if it's a favorite brush that you like to use for the whole week before you clean them at the end of the week. With the cream blushes, if you're going to use your fingers, by all means, wash your hands. If you're not able to wash your hands, use a makeup wipe. Clean your hands, sanitize your fingers a little bit, or use a spatula to take a little bit off. Place it on the back of your hand or a palette. Like I said, that is the best way to keep your makeup for the full length of time, to keep yourself as clean as possible. So these you can keep. The cream blushes, you really can keep them up to 18 months. Normally, in packaging like this, they usually dry out. To kind of revive them just a tiny bit, you can use a little bit of Visine. Visine is water soluble. It won't make it, richly creamy, but it will moisten the top layer so that you can use the rest of your cream blushes. Now, when it comes down to your eyeliners and lip liners, as you can see, this is also marked for a Project Pan item. This is a lip pencil. Now, you can keep your lip pencils, lip liners in the pencil form for at least 3 years if you're not using it that often. Definitely mark when you have used it, and always after using your makeup, that is a pencil form, you want to go on ahead and sharpen it. Just put the sharpener on it, twist it once, twice, you're done. You have taken off the layer the top layer on there. You can put the lid back on it. Now it's not contaminated. Or you can also take 91% alcohol and dip it inside the alcohol, let it air dry. That kills it. Or you can spray alcohol also on these products and just leave them open, let them air dry, and you will kill any bacteria that may be on your products. Okay, eyeshadows, they are powders, so you can consider them like blushes as well as foundations that are in powder form. 2 to 3 years if you properly keep them clean. Now, when it comes to your brushes, everybody has different ways they like to clean them. They have their own DIYs. They have top of the line brush cleaners and, you know, regular soap and water. My thing to you is use what you like, but be consistent. That is the key. If you have special brushes that you like to use on a daily basis, I do recommend, if you have the time or once you come home from work, school, play, just lightly go over them, brush them off on a clean towel, get as much of the makeup off as you possibly can, clean them with a little soap and water, and let them air dry. There is also a product, and I'm sorry, I should have had it together. There's a product called Perian Spirits, and this particular product will allow you to spot clean your brushes. I really like how it smells. It has a light citrus smell, but if you don't like that, this may not be the item to use. But this here will definitely help you keep your brushes clean in between uses or until you're ready to do a deep cleansing at the end of the month, at the end of every 2 weeks, at the end of every week. Okay, now your sponges. I have dirty sponges here. This is what I use today for my makeup. I have the little small one for eye area, and then the big one for my face. Now, me personally, I cannot go to bed with my sponges looking like this. Not even if I want to use them tomorrow. So I will take a little bit of my cleanser, and I think I use the Barner soap. I know I say the name incorrectly, but I usually just dab it in the soap. I will get all of that foundation off and just let it air dry through the night and use it tomorrow. My sponges, I'm sorry, I have to clean them on a daily basis. The brushes, I can let them go till every Sunday. Okay, now foundation. I hope I'm doing this video pretty fast. When it comes down to your foundation, if you have liquid form, here's what you can do to keep your foundations longer. If you have a product that you really like and it's in a glass bottle that can be seen through, try to keep them in a dark, cool place. And the reason why, the cooler it is, the less bacteria has the chance to form. And always, if possible, if you don't have a pump, because this one doesn't have a pump, it actually has a little spatula, take some out and apply it to the back of a card, the back of your hand. I know sometimes they say the back of your hand is not a good area, but I think the back of your hand is okay if you are a person that, you know, keeps their hands very clean. If you keep them in a dark, cool place, you can actually have your foundations past the 12-month mark. Now, if you see separation, you might want to think about, you know, tossing it. If you see that, if you smell any bad smell from any foundation, by all means, do not use it. A lot of keeping your skin acne free and your makeup longer is just using common sense on smell, sight, and feel, pretty much. Okay, so now we are going to go to lipsticks. I have this lipstick here by CoverGirl. This is a brand new one. Lipsticks, they say you can keep 1 to 2 years, and I believe that. I actually think you can keep them a lot longer. You can possibly keep your lipsticks up to, believe it or not, 4 years. And I'm not just making that up. And the only reason why I say that, you have to be consistent. That is the word. Consistency on cleaning your makeup. After you use your makeup, before you turn this knob down, keep yourself a jar of alcohol. Dip it in the alcohol. Let the remaining drip off. Lay it on its side and let it air dry. And that is how you will keep your lipsticks. The alcohol will not change the sheen, the texture of the lipstick. And that is how you can keep it longer than that, especially if it is one that you like the most. Alright, now let's see. Mascara. What it says here, we are all known to throw away our mascaras within the 3-month mark. However, not all of us start to use our mascaras, at the first of the month. And many of us like to use 2, 3, or 4 mascaras. So how do we get the most of them without throwing them away before they dry out and before we get to use them all up? The first tip I will give you is if your mascara starts to dry out even a little bit, you can take you a few drops of Visine or just any type of eye drops, and you can drop them on the inside. 1, 2, 3. Put your mascara wand in. Do not do any pumping. Pumping of the wand sends air and bacteria down into the base, and that is how your mascara dries out and also, just gets nasty up in there. By using the eye drops, you can kind of re-moisten most, not all, but most mascaras. That can help you prolong it. Now, to keep it a little longer, past the 3-month mark of just throwing it away in 3 months, I suggest to only try 2 to 3 mascaras. Definitely date them of the day that you actually open them, and upon the 3-month mark of throwing it away, look at it, smell it, try it. If it doesn't smell bad, you can keep it. If it doesn't irritate your eye upon, the first initial application, you can keep it. I do not suggest going past 4 months. That's just a little too long for this, but I am giving you a way to keep it 1 extra month. Alright, the last thing I want to tell you about your nail polish. I don't go through many bottles of nail polish because I have tons and tons of it. However, lots of my polishes kind of dry out or get goopy before I'm ready to come back to them. So to keep them a little longer, you want to use nail polish thinner, and you can get that at Sally's Beauty Supply. I'm sorry I don't have that bottle in here with me. But by getting the nail polish thinner, you can apply a few drops to your favorite polish, and that will help kind of reboost it. Now, it will thin out the consistency and change just a tad bit the texture of the polishes, but you will be able to use them. Most polishes, they say, get rid of them 12 to 18 months. I say use them up, use your nail thinner, and once it gets down to a point to where you can't hold the bottle and get your polish out, it's time to toss it and buy it once again. Alright everyone, thank you so much for sticking with me to the end. I really hope this video isn't long, but you know NueNew gonna post it anyway. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about the things that I talked about of labeling your makeup, why you should, and how long you can keep certain makeups, definitely leave your questions and comments below. I know I didn't do fragrances and lotions. I guess I will just do that in a different video. To all be blessed, and I will see you in a few days with the next video. Good night.